Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. For my last few videos, I have tried to challenge people to redefine how they think of sovereignty. And I don't think that I or anyone else has really expressed just clearly enough just what is truly going on in Ukraine and the severity of it. Now, I'm not going to go into American history. I know about the atrocities in American history and the racism that goes on today. But consider the fact that most Americans, and just about every American in some way, expresses some kind of heritage. Irish American, Native American, which Native American is, of course, the true Americans, but, a Hispanic American, Mexican American, Korean American, Japanese, German, on and on and on. Okay, so what I want you to do is just imagine that whatever heritage you may have, that your heritage is Russian. Now, to explain this, the goal in Ukraine of the Ukrainian government is not just about lines on a map. It's not just about language and forming a common language. Sure, they could tell everyone that for educational purposes and business purposes, you have to speak Ukrainian. That would be fine. But it's more than that. They actually want to outlaw the Russian language, which, remember, 30% or more of the Ukrainian population identifies as ethnically Russian. Many of them speak only Russian. But, okay, fine. So you want to establish a common language. This can be done gradually, but it's more than that. In 2015, the Ukrainian parliament actually voted to make the Russian language illegal. Now, that failed in the parliament at that time, but since then, they've kept on pushing, and they did pass it. But it's still more than that. They want to make it illegal, not just to teach in school, but to read, write, or speak Russian. And that's not just in school or in business, that's everywhere, anywhere, including in your own home. Imagine that. You cannot speak your native language in your own home. But it's more than that. They want to completely erase the Russian heritage, the Russian identity in Ukraine. Now just imagine. And they're going into people's homes and actually raiding their homes violently, breaking down doors, holding people at gunpoint. Imagine that they come into your home. If you have any books, any music, any old love letters, any artwork from your children when they were small and now adult or dead, this all has to be completely eliminated. You are not allowed to have it. And it's not just a matter of destroying that. If you are found in possession of any of this, you can be arrested, interrogated, incarcerated, tortured, and if you object, you can be killed. That is the severity of what is going on there. This is why I compare this to past fascism. Because, yeah, imagine you live in a community that identifies as ethnically Russian, and none of you are allowed to recognize your common heritage, culture, at all, in any way. So even if you are all still alive, your heritage, your culture, your identity has been wiped out. This is genocide. This is genocide. This is what is going on in Ukraine and what has been going on since 2014, since the Euromaidan. This is what the past 8 years have all been about. This is what this war, this invasion, this special military operation, whatever label you want to put on it, that's what this is about. Do you understand that now? Can you imagine that having so much of your identity, your past, your family wiped out? You can't talk about it. You are barely able to think about it. You can't have any signs of it remaining. You can't speak in any words that indicate any of it. None of it. That's how severe this is. And this is for real. In 2022, this is for real. Okay, so people keep on talking about all that Ukraine wants is their own independence, their own sovereignty. I hate to tell you this, but if Russia left, just turn around and left Ukraine right now, Ukraine has already given up their sovereignty, their independence. I've mentioned that how much debt they've incurred. Hundreds of billions of dollars. And even if this ends today, they're just going to go further in debt. Nobody at all expects them to be able to ever pay this debt. What this means is that they will be forever in debt, beholden, dictated to by Western countries. They're selling off farmland, manufacturing, etc., to Western investors. So they're selling off their country. They've given up their sovereignty. They've given up their independence. They will never get this back. They want to invite NATO in there. Look how Europe is treating their member states right now. Look how they are treating Hungary. Look how they are dictating to countries. You have to be loyal to the bloc. What sovereignty is that? What independence is that? So, with the debt that they have incurred and the resources that they have sold off. That means that virtually any wealth that they may generate is going to be owed out, exported to Western countries, Western investors. Any tax revenue that they may generate is going to go almost exclusively toward paying down the debt. But they will never be able to do that. They will just keep having to sell more resources and borrow more money from the IMF, World Bank, whatever, more and more. They will always, from this point forward, they have been a welfare state for decades. But from this point forward, they will be nothing but a welfare state, exporting any wealth that they generate to the West. Is this what they've been fighting for? I don't think that the people that are fighting actually understand all of this that is going on. If they do understand it, at some point they are going to overthrow their government. But even then, what? They will still be under the thumb of the European Union and the United States forever. They are a vassal state. That's what this means. Americans get upset when they hear that, Chinese investors are buying farmland or food processing plants here. Now imagine if foreign investors from China or wherever owned 80% of the resources in this country, Saudi Arabia, whoever, and all of the wealth that we generate was exported to these other countries, making them wealthier while we remained in poverty and paying, and even our taxes were going toward paying debts to the countries that have bought up all of our resources. Just think about that. What sovereignty, what independence has Ukraine actually built for themselves at this point? These are the facts. There is no denying it. All right? And then they have wiped out their own national identity, which has been largely of Russian heritage. They've wiped out any, diversity except for what is allowed. Of course, they've still got their statues of Stepan Bandera to fall back on. If that's your identity, then you've got a real problem. All right, share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, please donate whatever you can to help expand this channel and my presidential campaign. And I will catch you in the next one.